Today's guest is Rod Galbreath of CenMac Metalworks.
You know, I just really fell in love with manufacturing.
Okay.
It's fun. I like going to work.
Yeah.
And when you like going to work, usually you're probably pretty good at,
Right.
whatever you like to do, you're usually pretty good at that. Good people are what make any business go. It's not just me. I always say I'm the dumb guy in the facility. I have lots of guys that are smarter than me. The other thing we have that a lot of shops don't have is we really want to do everything on one shift. I'd rather buy equipment and stay more on one shift than I would run a second shift. But I think in reality, people would much prefer to work 7 to 3:30.
You're explaining this and I've never heard any shop owner say this.
This episode of the Fabricator podcast is brought to you by MC Machinery Systems, the U.S.-based supplier and servicer of Mitsubishi lasers, press brakes, and automation equipment. A subsidiary of the Mitsubishi Corporation, MC Machinery's expertise spans virtually every aspect of metalworking, from simple fabrication to CNC-driven automated cells. MC Machinery has technology centers with service and support teams located across North America. Go to mcmachinery.com to learn more.
Hello, I'm Dan Davis with The Fabricator, and this is The Fabricator Podcast. Joining me today is Tim Huston.
How are y'all doing?
Senior editor with Fabricator. This episode is sponsored by Mitsubishi MC Machinery. We appreciate their sponsorship. Today's guest is Rod Galbreath of CenMac Metalworks out of Ohio, and we've had a really good conversation with him today. You're going to be really entertained, I think, by Rod in the way he kind of not only tackles the metal fabricating business, but I think he kind of bleeds into his life as well.
It just takes it as it comes, man. Life is a river, man.
Yeah.
So it's
Not really stressing
not
it.
worth stressing out, man.
Yeah, I mean, here's a guy, doesn't really have a formal 5-year plan, doesn't really have it, he admitted to not taking a paper and pen into meetings, no business cards.
But he does love to grow.
Yeah,
and, and his equipment, cadre of equipment, is incredibly impressive.
Yeah.
And so listening to him talk, I'm going, it really is that simple in so many cases. It's like
he does make it seem that way.
Yeah,
and I think it kind of belies the experts that work for him, and he alludes to that. But it seems like a great environment, great culture.
It is.
Well, he mentioned that they could turn it into a reality show because he works with so many family and friends that they just kind of probably give each other a lot of grief throughout the day.
So,
but just still operate.
Yeah, we have the FMA Podcast Network. Perhaps we'll have a selection Real Housewives of Ohio metal fabricating companies.
Ended on that note.
There you go. Yeah, so look forward to that exciting programming down the road. But right now we have Rod Galbreath of CenMac Metalworks, and we want to thank again Mitsubishi MC Machinery for sponsoring this. Enjoy.
Looking to take your leadership skills to the next level? Join Manufacturing Leaders February 24th to the 26th in Clearwater Beach, Florida for the FMA annual meeting. At this premier event, you'll connect with top leaders from the fabrication and metals industries to share ideas, collaborate on business challenges, and build strategic relationships. Start 2026 on the right path. Find details and register at fmamfg.org. And now, back to the episode.
Welcome to the Fabricator Podcast. Today's guest is Rod Galbreath of CenMac Metalworks. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, sir. Glad to be here.
Yeah, we want to thank Mitsubishi MC Machinery for sponsoring this episode. Obviously, CenMac Metalworks, a customer of Mitsubishi. Can you tell us a little bit about the company itself and how you got involved? It's a pretty good story.
Yeah, sure. You want me to give you the story?
Yeah.
Full story?
Yeah. The full story. Hey, we've got time.
We don't have that much time. I started in 1998. My dad was working at CenMac, planning on retiring there, and went to my dad and I said, "Hey, let's see if we can buy the business." And that's sometimes tricky to do when you don't have any money, but somehow we did it, and that was 2003. We each bought 20% of the company from a trust of all things, and I bought the trust out about 12 years ago. and then I bought my dad out about 6 years ago.
Oh, wow.
So CenMac is we started as a stamping facility, and we've grown really into they say fab shop. I hate that word.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel like we're just a fab shop. I don't know. I don't like the sounds of it, but in reality, we're a fab shop.
Yeah.
And we're a laser shop. Everything we do revolves around laser cutting.
Mm-hmm.
We started as a metal stamper. We don't do any metal stamping in-house any longer. And so, yeah, we've turned into a laser shop. We have 6 lasers. We've bought 6 lasers in 12 years. We had no laser work when we started. We just felt like we could probably do it. And so far, it's gone pretty well. So,
yeah. Did you have that same feel when you wanted to buy the business? So 2003, what makes you think this is the right thing for you to do?
Well, I really had no clue, but I enjoyed it and thought I'd take the chance. So,
yeah.
I just really fell in love with manufacturing.
Okay.
It's fun. I like going to work. And when you like going to work, usually you're probably pretty good at,
right.
whatever you like to do, you're usually pretty good at that. So I found out I think the biggest, it's not just me either, it's my employees, right? Good people are what make any business go. It's not just me. I always say I'm the dumb guy in the facility. I have lots of guys that are smarter than me.
Right.
It's the people.
Yeah. How many people do you have working for you? Real quick?
I think right now we're about 110, 115.
Okay.
Yeah.
When I started in '98, there were 13 of us, including my dad and I.
Wow.
So we had one welder that welded 2 to 3 days a week. Now we have 13 robotic weld cells and probably 5 or 6 other guys welding. So it's changed so much.
Wow.
Changed a lot.
So your dad, how many years does your dad work there before he retired?
4.
Oh, just 4 years.
He was there
Okay.
4 years. Yeah.
But okay, gotcha.
Yeah, he was there 4 years before me.
Did he have a background in metal fabricating?
My dad was, at the time, in '98 when I started, we had one customer. That was a customer he had been head of engineering at for 25 years. So it was kind of a weird mix. He had designed a lot of the parts that we were making.
Really?
So
Gotcha.
if I look in our print folder, the old print folder, I'll find prints there that might have my dad's name on it from before I was born.
Wow.
So he knew a lot about the product we were making, and that's why they originally brought him in, was because of his knowledge of the parts.
Oh, wow.
So yeah.
It's kind of like I don't know if a lot of companies have that type of origin. It's kind of interesting.
It's different. It's different. So yeah, my dad. I owe everything to my dad. His hard work and
So obviously those parts were probably stamped at one time, right?
yeah, that's all we did. We did metal stamping.
So was there a big transition in getting all those parts over to like toolless type of fabricating being done on the laser?
We didn't move stampings over.
The stamping.
We
that's
outsourced the stamping, but we never moved the stampings over to laser. We just went out and bought.
So it was all
found
new
laser
customers
work.
then.
Well, we had one customer in '98, so they're all new. Yeah, yeah. We
how
don't
it
have
works.
any. We have one old customer and a lot of new customers. So yeah,
That's awesome.
There you go.
yeah.
So describe your biggest growing pains since 2003, as far as
the biggest
growing pains and milestones of overcoming them.
the hardest thing about manufacturing is the money it requires to grow.
Yeah.
Right.
It's an expensive business to be in if you want to grow. It's just equipment. You're relying on your equipment. You have to have good equipment. You can't have old equipment. So that's been the hardest thing about it, is just the money it requires to continue to grow.
Can you elaborate a little bit in terms of what that new equipment means to not only your company's performance, but also how it maybe helps you stand out in the marketplace?
I think it's obvious what new equipment will do. You walk around here, you see the technology change. New equipment is always typically better than old equipment. So, but as far as what you look like when people walk in your shop with new equipment, it's just that first impression. I always say the first impression is huge. We obviously clean our shop up before we have people coming in, try to make it look nice. It's huge. At first, you get one chance, right?
Right.
And when you have a shop full of new equipment, They know you're serious about it. They know you're here to take care of the customer. So to me, I love to buy new equipment. It's fun. But I think it's huge.
Yeah.
I think it's huge. If you walk in a shop and you know, the equipment, they don't have anything that's newer than 20 years old. To me, the impression is, are they really trying to grow? Are they really trying to do better? We do that every year, every day.
Well, you'd be shocked at the amount of companies I see who have like old equipment, but they've been like that for a long time. But now over the past few years, we've seen this huge transition of the old generation retiring, new generation, new owners, and then we see that new investment finally going, wait a minute, we're going to push this company forward. Now, kind of bring me through your equipment CapEx strategy, because you were starting from basically nothing. So,
yeah.
So like, you started in the CO2 days, right? And then
we still have two CO2s.
Hey,
yeah,
quality
they're
edge,
they're still
man.
good machines.
Quality edge, and then I assume you forming came after that, or was it laser only for a while?
For me, like I mentioned to the two of you earlier, I knew nothing about anything when I started. So for me, the way I grew the business is, as I found opportunities, I would go out and buy the piece of equipment that allowed me to get that opportunity in-house.
Right.
So if somebody asked me to quote a part and I need a new lathe for that part, and that part will keep that lathe running 12 weeks out of the year, or 15 or 20, whatever it is, I'll buy the lathe, I'll bring the lathe in-house, and then we fill it.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think, the opportunity that new equipment gives you is just, it's huge. So we keep buying.
Keep buying.
With the evolution of the fiber laser cutting machine, greater wattages, faster speed, has it changed the dynamic of your shop floor?
I don't think too much. It requires, maybe you're cutting faster. It requires more material movers. It requires more guys on the tables. It requires, some changes, but nothing drastic for us. I haven't really noticed anything crazy.
More bending capacity, perhaps?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
I told Mitsubishi years ago, to me, lasers feed your shop. So you're out looking for laser work. You cut your parts. Now you want to bend your parts. So the more parts you laser cut, the more parts you bend. The more parts you laser cut, the more parts you weld.
Mm-hmm.
We have a full CNC machine shop. So the more parts we laser, the more parts we machine. So the lasers feed the shop, and then we just fill in equipment to help the processing, flow through smoothly to where your lead times don't get, out too far to where you turn people off.
Right, and to have that solid laser cut, you need. Otherwise, you'll starve the shop if the laser's shut down. Right, so you need that solid preventive maintenance, and then. But how do you make sure that you don't flood your shop with work and make sure that you just don't feed a constraint downstream? Like you mentioned, all right, this feeds your shop, but all right, we're going to make sure that we don't overproduce. Or is it always...
Oh, I don't worry about overproducing.
Okay.
I buy more equipment and I process quicker.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the more you laser cut, the more, as you cut more and more, you need more press brakes.
Right.
So we buy more press brakes. We bought a panel bender. Panel bending is... on certain parts is significantly more efficient than you can bend in a press brake. So we alleviated a lot of work off our press brakes by buying a panel bender, freed up press brake time. We buy 2-3 robotic weld cells a year. We buy more equipment and we keep building buildings. And I would never say no to anybody unless I felt like I could not produce. But the other thing we have that a lot of shops don't have is we really want to do everything on one shift. We have what we call a third shift, but it's very, very limited skeleton crews. So we are doing almost everything on first shift, which goes against what most people want to do. I'd rather buy equipment and stay more on one shift than I would run a second shift.
Yeah. But bring me through the reasoning behind that. I mean, I can guess the reasoning, but I just want to hear your perspective.
I think quality of life for guys are better if it's one shift. I think most people like to work 7 to 3:30 and go home. I don't think most people really want to work 9 till 6 in the morning in reality. Some people do, but I think in reality people would much prefer to work 7 to 3:30. I think that's a big factor.
I think it says something about society where you're explaining this and like I've never heard any shop owner say this. You know what I mean? Like it makes sense to me. It's a quality of life issue, I think, and that's been one of the legit criticisms about the industry. I
don't like second and third shifts. I don't like to say I run a second and third shift. It doesn't boast my morale to say I have to run 3 shifts to keep my business afloat.
Right.
I'd rather buy equipment and do almost everything on first, which is what we do.
Yeah. Right. So it seems like you get ahead of your bottleneck. You know, you don't allow that bottleneck to happen because you're interested in, having that equipment there to get everything out as soon as possible.
Yeah. The last 2 lasers I purchased, all of my guys in the shop said we don't need them yet. I'm like, we don't need them yet, but we will need them.
Yeah.
So we have capacity. 2 years ago, we went from 2 8Ks, a 4,500 watt, and the old 1,000 watt Mazak we have. We bought a 20K, we bought a 12K, we bought a 10K, and we traded in an 8K. So our capacity is enormous.
Wow.
We've added a water jet, we've added a panel bender, we've added 2 or 3 brakes in the past few years.
No kidding.
I don't need to run a third shift.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
We have, like I said, we do have a skeleton crew, but
yeah.
I think it helps quality. I think doing everything on first shift helps your quality. I think it helps you manage, your shipping. I don't think there's a lot of benefits to third shift other than it allows you to produce more, personally.
Yeah. And I've heard horror stories of, all right, second shift, third shift, that's great. But then, all right, somebody sets up the brake differently, or there's miscommunication between a job on one shift to the next. And you could overcome that with some documentation, refinement, etc. But also, let's simplify it. Why, let's get the part flow velocity on that first shift, and you've achieved it. Now you got 20 kilowatts. Are you doing like thick plate now?
And we cut 1 inch.
1 inch.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we cut a lot of thick plate, half inch up to 1 inch, and all the way down to 24 gauge. Yeah. So we do a little bit of everything.
How's your forming capability for that kind of stuff? Or
it's good. We can form up to 13.5 foot long, which is longer than we can cut.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we have up to 185 tons. So we don't do a lot of big parts. Big parts are not us, as they say. We do smaller parts. So our forming capacity is there. Our welding capacity is there. I had an opportunity 2 years ago to buy 8 used robotic weld cells. I bought them all and we put them in storage, and we were just waiting for the opportunity to use them. And since we've outsourced our metal stamping, we're turning that into a weld shop. So we gained 10,000 square foot, and I think probably a year from now we'll have 6 to 8 robotic weld cells in that room.
Wow.
So we got lucky and bought the robots. And
so, once again, buying it maybe ahead of time, do you feel like you have some work for those robotic weld cells when they're
getting it?
Okay.
They're getting it.
That's why I go to work every day.
That's right.
I always tell my employees, if you show up, don't ever complain about me not being at the shop. But when you show up to the shop and you don't have work to do, you can come up and talk to me.
Yeah.
Because I'm not doing my job at that point, right?
Wow.
Like, they don't have work to do. My job is to get work.
Yeah.
So when they don't have work to do, then that falls back on me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I've never had to have somebody come up and talk to me yet. So
yeah.
Hey, do you have, riffing on the culture aspect of it, because I can see in a shop where you'd have somebody going, man, we can't develop the weld fixtures for all those robots. What are you talking about? And oh my gosh, we need some kind of accuracy for that. That's going to be a pain. We could do that manually. What are you doing? Do you have any of that kind of pushback, or is it built into the culture like, nope, we're going to move forward?
Occasionally I will promise something that the guys don't feel like I should have promised, but just get it done. I don't know. No, we don't have a lot of.
Just get it done.
just get it done. We don't have I don't get a lot of pushback. We have great. One thing we have great equipment, but on top of that, we have really great people. We have smart people. We have a lot of engineers. My plant manager's an engineer, by trade. So no, we everybody's pretty much on page.
The one challenge I've heard from folks who do acquire, like you do very rapidly, very aggressively, is the training around it to make sure that you've got the maintenance, you've got the support, you've got everybody on the same page, so they know, so that you don't walk in the morning and you hear a big clang and the automation broke down and okay, now what? And now we got to wait. So how have you kind of developed a culture that says, all right, we're going to develop a structure to actually support all this new equipment that we're bringing in?
Well, I mean, I literally did not have a maintenance guy until about 2.5 years ago. We had guys that did maintenance and were smart guys. That kind of comes with when you have a machine shop, you get really smart mechanical guys that can fix anything by nature.
Right.
So we had always kind of relied on those guys to be able to go out and fix things, build things. We have a full maintenance staff now. When I say a full maintenance staff, we're not that big. We have 2 guys.
Yeah. That is officially a staff.
That is
a staff.
It is. But as far as my people, the people that work with me, I knew everybody in my office I knew before I hired them. I have a college roommate that's in the office with me. I have my vice president went to the same high school I went to. My production manager went to my high school, so he was in my wedding. So literally everybody in our office, well, there's one guy I did not know before. He's my quoter, but everybody else, my wife's cousin is my purchasing agent. So we hire people we know. I just hired my best friend's son, my best friend from high school's son, and we're going to train him to be go into production. He's going to be an assistant production manager now. So we're training him. He's 25. I've known his family forever. So that's how I hire people.
Oh wow!
I don't hire people I don't know.
Wow.
Right.
Not in the office.
Yeah.
At all, zero. I have on the floor. We have lots of. We have husband and wives. We have, I don't know how many sets of brothers. We have lots of father sons. So we have lots of family members out on the floor as well.
Right.
So
that says a lot. I talk to shop owners who either retire or sold their business, but then they get back into the business. I actually talked to a guy on the floor here where I met him, like, I thought you retired. What are you doing back in the business? He said, I miss my friends.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and it's like, the business is family, and the family is business, and it really sounds like your shop has kind of developed into that. And yeah.
We're very. I mean, I'm very good friends with the people I work with.
Yeah.
For a Christmas trip one year, we all came to Chicago for the weekend.
Right.
Just hung out, and so we do. We enjoy working together. We have lots of fun. We'd probably be a really good reality show because we are such good friends.
Oh yeah.
But yet we all show up to work. We work hard. We're not afraid. The people on top, so to speak. If they ask somebody else to do something, they need to do it, and they do.
Yeah.
I just imagine going to work with my dad, though. I don't know. Father, son, mother, daughter. I don't know.
Yeah. I think that's why growth in a business is good, so you can kind of put some separation between the two.
Yeah, and I don't have any family members that work in my shop on purpose. They're other people's families.
So do you feel CenMac is kind of an employer of choice in your community? Does the reputation of the company help you attract people for those positions that might be open on the shop floor?
I hope so.
Yeah.
That's the goal. The goal is to make it a great place to work, right?
Yeah.
I've had jobs I didn't like, and it's no fun. So the last thing I want is I don't want my employees to come to work and not enjoy work as much as they can.
Right.
With the realization that not every day is going to be a good day. There are going to be days you don't feel like being there.
Right.
There are days I don't feel like being there. Right.
Yeah.
I own the place. I don't want to be there every day. but it's of course you want the community to think highly of you.
Yeah.
Right.
And people in the community, of course.
Yeah.
But as you've give me the timeline of when you've onboarded equipment. Is it every year, every other year? As far as does it come in batches, or just is it drip another machine here and another machine there?
I don't really ever have a plan. And I know that sounds crazy, but I never have a plan. I had a customer ask me for my 5-year plan one time, and I looked at him and I'm like, I don't even have a 5-month plan. I mean, I always say, just go to work hard, figure it out, make good decisions, and keep moving, right? But as far as the equipment goes, I don't know. It's just a gut feel. It's when I feel like I have an opportunity, like I bought the 8 robotic weld cells. I didn't need them, but I got a really good deal on them. I had a good opportunity. The weld engineer that I just hired had worked on those robots for years, so let's buy them, let's put them in storage. So I have no plan. As bad as that may sound, I have no plan. I don't know what I'm doing next month.
I think you do have a plan. It's kind of forward thinking. It's kind of take care of my people. I want to work with people I trust. It turns out in the quality. I mean, it's just not written down anywhere. I think.
Yeah, I don't write any. No, it's definitely not written down. But yeah, just grow. Like, I love growth. That's my goal. I love to buy equipment because that's growth, right? So growth is fun and growth is good. And my office manager asked me years ago, how big do you want to get? And my answer was, well, if I stop growing, I might as well retire because I'll be bored as hell.
Right.
So I just grow.
Yeah.
This year we're not. This is our first down year we've ever had.
Really?
In 27 years, this is the first time we've ever had negative growth.
What's contributed to that?
Slow customers. Certain industries are slow. Our pipeline is still full. I feel really good about where we're at. I feel good about what we're down, to be honest with you. When I look at, some of our customers are just, they're having slow years.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, when you bring on, like, I'm just thinking, you brought on the panel bender, right? And the panel bender, there's design for manufacturability with the panel bender. It's like, all right, I need something a certain way. I need a flange a certain way versus a brake. And so do you have any of those discussions with folks saying, hey, let's bring these products over to the panel bender because, hey, and let's change the blank size? Or is it just simply this product was designed for the panel bender from the get-go, that's why I got it?
We purchased the panel bender for parts that we do for one customer in particular, and it's a lot of parts. From there on, I have nothing to do with what parts they run on the machine. I've got my guys do that.
Right.
So I know we try to get over everything we can onto that machine that makes sense. But I don't. My day to day is not. I don't get involved with that at all. To be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you established a level of trust to let people do what they do best.
I have good people, so I don't need to.
I think a lot
worry
of
about it.
shop leaders aspire to be at that position. So your once again, it's not written down anywhere.
So
it's not written down.
I think you're doing all right.
So describe your sales process for me, or to use industry jargon, the sales funnel. Your sales funnel.
How do you fill that funnel, sir?
Well, don't get too fancy. But it's kind of funny. Up until about, I'm going to say 10 to 11 years ago, we had no outside salesmen.
Okay.
We had a couple reps we worked with. I would have people come in and ask me, how are you growing like you're growing? And I just, my only answer was, we just come to work and we work hard. And if somebody asks us to do something, we do our best to do it. So we have one salesman on staff, that's all. He is there he's there to take care of customers as much as he is growth. Obviously, you like both. And we work with reps. We have a lot of great reps we work with. We don't have a written contract with one of them.
No kidding. Wow.
I've known them all for a long time. I've gotten to be friends with them. They bring me business, and I pay them commission, obviously, like any rep, and they help me with the account. So from a sales perspective, it's just word of mouth. And now it was word of mouth 100%, and now it's having good reps and a good salesman out there to help us.
What's your sandbox, so to speak? So like when the sales guy goes out and says, all right, well, you need to buy this piece of equipment to do this. What do you think? That kind of thing. Because you mentioned it's customer driven, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, I need to buy an extrusion press.
I don't know if I'd go that far, but
I mean, I'm just saying within your realm, what says let's move forward and buy this, or no, we don't. We're not going to go into that.
I think it's just a gut feel at
just
the time.
Yeah,
I don't know. I bought a water jet 2 years ago because a customer asked me if I knew anybody that could water jet some parts for them, and I said, well, what do you have? And he told me, and I said, well, I'll buy a water jet. So I bought a water jet, and we make parts on a water jet for him every day now. I had no plan of buying a water jet, but he was looking for somebody local, and I didn't know of anybody. So 2 months later, I bought a water jet. Came to the show, went around, talked to everybody, and bought an Omax water jet.
Wow. So is your growth more entwined into current customers? Do you grow with your customers, or the growth really been kind of fueled by new opportunities?
Both.
Yeah.
I think the easiest, if you're doing a good job for your customers, the easiest growth is within them.
Yeah.
Because there's always work. There's always new work there. And knock on wood, because I'm very superstitious, in 27 years we've lost one customer.
Wow.
And that's it. So we retain, once we get our customers, we retain them. And then obviously if we're doing our job, we should grow within them. We should get more and more business from them. And but then the new business is fun too. And it's huge. So I think it's got to be both. If you're not growing within your current customer base, you're probably not doing a great job.
So back to sales, the person you have in your sales role, does it have a front office experience, metal fabricating experience? What type of person is in that role?
He sold steel.
Okay, so
And
he kind of knows the customers.
He knew the customers. He's been there a long time. I hired him. He used to call on us. I never bought a pound of steel from the guy. I don't know why. I just didn't need what he had for sale, I guess. But I got to know the guy. Really nice guy, which is the kind of guy I want, you can trust. And I hired him, and he's been a great ad.
That's great.
And he's the type of guy, he's not only a really good salesman, but he goes to bat for the customer.
Right.
You know, he walks into the meeting on Monday morning and questions if there's an issue. You can tell he's on the customer side. He's not on our side.
Right.
He's on the customer side, which is what he should be.
Right.
So, it's important for that growth within current customers. I think it's important to have somebody. I don't have the time to go calling them all the time, but to have somebody really servicing them and listening to them.
And you mentioned growth with customers, and we both started in 1998, and you remember the telecom boom and bust back then, and so many shops had just one or two customers back then. My Rolodex changed. I had a Rolodex.
Yeah. We're gonna have to put up a graphic of what a Rolodex is for people
that's
that are
right.
watching this.
I had one.
We have the data center boom, but there's a lot of diversified fabrication shops out there that are taking advantage of the new opportunity, yet staying diversified. But with talking about your operation, your gut feel. All right, so how do you ensure that you're taking on new work, but making sure that you're not taking on work that'll be a bust in 5 years and you'll have an issue?
I mean, there's no insurance for that. It's
right.
I think most of the, if you were to get into a different type of product line, so to speak, or go out and buy a piece of equipment that's a little bit different than what you typically would buy, I think you just have to work hard to fill it up, get more customers. Don't rely on the one. But I don't know. I just don't feel like there's a lot of risk in buying equipment. I bought a piece of equipment a few years ago. We brought it in house. It just didn't work like we thought it would. It was a screw machine.
Okay.
Awful. I'll never buy another one again.
Yeah.
It wasn't for us. But I literally called the company I bought the machine from and asked them if they'd buy it back from me, and they gave me half the money back, and I was happy. And I've learned a lesson. But they don't all work. Nobody's perfect. Not every decision's a good decision, but that was something I gave a shot, and it just didn't work out. So we just moved on from it and started focusing on something else.
So go ahead.
We were talking with a fabricator earlier this morning, and the gist of the conversation was lamenting the transactional nature of what business has become from his point of view. And hearing you, lost one customer over the years. You talk about the relationships you have with people you work with. What does it mean to have those type of relationships in this industry? And do you think that's changing, or have you been lucky enough to kind of see that relationships stay personal as opposed to transactional?
Oh, I think I always say, it's funny you ask that question. I always tell my customers, it's great to do business with your friends.
Yeah.
Like, because that's your customers should become your friends in reality. I know my customers personally, not all of them, but a lot of them. So I just think it's huge. I think it makes it more fun.
Mm-hmm.
We have great customers. We have great vendors. I'll use Mitsubishi, for example. People ask me why did you buy a Mitsubishi laser to begin with?
Right.
Well, we looked at a few different ones, but in the end, it was the people as much as the machine. To be quite honest with you, it was Bill Isaac, it was Shane Henerdine, it was those guys that we just felt comfortable with. And we love the machine, obviously, and so I think you don't buy just equipment just on the equipment alone. You have to, who do you feel comfortable with, and we've done that.
Yeah, I was telling you a couple of days ago that, for 2 years I actually wrote for a healthcare magazine that wasn't a healthcare magazine. It was a billing Medicare magazine. Talk about transactional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, man, people in it just, so I left it and I came back to metal fabrication because the industry is full of soulful, truthful, humble people.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can't fake that.
No. And it makes work fun.
Yeah.
It makes work fun even when you do have a problem with those, with a customer. If you know them and you have a good relationship with them and they know you're going to do everything you can do to make the situation better, it's fine. It doesn't, nobody gets mad, nobody gets angry because they know you're going to do whatever you need to do to make their life better.
So your organization's been lucky enough not to have customers leave you. Have you ever left a customer?
One time.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So it does happen.
Yeah.
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 Was that the same company that left?
No.
That you just caused it?
No,
Okay,
I did.
Yeah.
Actually, two. I just told one last week that I didn't want to do business with them any
Wow.
longer.
Okay. So
That was the
sometimes you have to have that
second
conversation. Then.
That was the second time in 27 years that I've actually told a customer
And obviously, we're not going to ask you to identify it, but what like factors led to that conversation?
Unachievable expectations on their end.
So yeah, less of a partner and more of a
When you get parts that are returned to you and you go through them and you can't find anything wrong with them.
Yeah.
Just everything was a rush. Every time it was a rush. If we couldn't turn something in 3 weeks, he'd just go buy it from somebody else.
Oh, geez.
There was no partnership there.
Yeah.
There was no partnership. And we tried and we tried and we tried. But it just got to a point where it wasn't worth the risk of having parts sent back that are to print. They're fine. There's nothing wrong with them.
I love the prodigal son stories where the customers come back after having treated other people like that. But in your case, you don't give me enough to hope for that because there's only been two.
There have been two. So
yeah.
Ironically, one was last week, which
Wow.
It wasn't a fun conversation. I hated to do it, but I also have to make the decisions that's best for my company, and I just felt like that was the best decision.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
It's circling back to people. It's so true because I know some shops who've told me off the record about dropping customer experiences. What one guy told me, I did it because of the amount of time it took them to clarify something.
Yeah.
So if there was some they couldn't. This on the print, it didn't make any sense, or either it wasn't achievable or was something wrong, and it took 3-4 weeks, whatever, to get back, and then they wanted their parts in 2 days. And so he said no.
Yeah.
But it goes back to the people. It's like if you have good people, they're working for a good organization that has its stuff together, that they don't let emails fall through the cracks like that.
Yeah. And I think to speak a little more on that, I think when you have a good customer, I always tell everybody, you take the good and the bad. So a good customer gives you a lot of good work. When they need something that maybe is not a real great opportunity or doesn't fit what we do, or if we don't feel like we can really make any money at it, you still got to take the bad. You got to help them when they need help because they give you all the good. So when it's a customer like this and it's all bad and there's very little good, if any, sometimes you're probably better to walk away. But not every job's a good job. Not every job, you don't make money on every job.
Right.
But you've got to do those jobs to help your customer.
Oh, yeah.
You just do it.
How do you define your sweet spot, your ideal customer, as far as, all right, we are really good at this?
He's got all the equipment in the world. They're all his customers.
It's all his customers. He's got all the equipment in the world. It's fine.
Yeah, I think for us, if the more processes, the better. If it's a part that needs lasered, formed, welded, machined, the more processes, the better, because we have a full CNC machine shop, which not a lot of laser shops have. So the more processes, the better. Obviously, everybody likes a little bit of quantity, but if somebody needs me to make one of something, we'll make it.
Yeah.
So I don't really, I don't know that we have a sweet spot. Well, if it's not our sweet spot, you have to try to expand your sweet spot and make it a good fit for you.
Yeah.
And the more value you add, so you more value per employee that each employee is adding. It's like, all right, more processes. If it's cut only, blank only, okay, well, a lot of shops could do this.
Right.
A lot of large operations could do this. Why, first level processing could do it, so why? So, but if we're going to add all this value, then we can grow with this customer.
Yeah, the more the better.
Yeah.
There's lots of ways to add value too. You can add value by holding inventory.
Right.
It doesn't have to have anything to do technically with the part. You can add value. There's lots of ways to add value, obviously, and it doesn't have to have anything to do with the actual making of the part.
Well, like handling some logistics, right? You're like,
Right,
as far as,
right.
Or coordinating some suppliers. Do you have any assembly on your end, or is it
Assembly?
Yeah,
some light assembly.
Some light assembly.
Nothing major.
Nothing much.
So you've got capabilities, capacity, culture. You feel like you're set for the next 5-10 years in terms of, because many people think reindustrialization is going to be a really great thing for the U.S. Do you feel like you're in a good position?
I think we're in a good spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel good. Like I said, we're having our first down year in 27 years, but I still feel really good about where we're at. We have a lot of capacity. We have a young staff. I'm the old guy in the building.
Isn't that fun?
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm 56, and I'm literally of anybody in the office. I'm the oldest guy in the office.
Yeah.
That's great.
So we have a young staff. So yeah, I feel real good with where we're at.
Well, it's a good story to share. I think your shop's got the technology, opportunities with the growth, and people like working there. It's a good message for not only your company, but I think for the industry as a whole. So
yeah,
congratulations.
Yeah. And
Go ahead.
Oh, well, unfortunately, I usually have a question. It's the last question, which where do you see your company in 3 to 5 years? But of course,
did I just say that?
No,
I kind of meant
that
to
was
say
me.
that. Oh, go ahead. You
but
want to
no,
ask that?
Obviously, no.
Where do I see our company in 3 to 5?
No, I'm not going to ask you because you said, hey,
I don't know.
I don't plan. It's okay.
I don't know. I'll worry about 3 to 5 years when 3 to 5 years is here.
Yeah.
Why worry about it? Just go to work. We'll go to work Monday morning. We'll work hard and whatever it brings, and we'll see what happens.
It's almost zen. It's like, hey, man, here it comes.
I don't get stressed.
Well,
There's
I
no
don't
reason
get
to
that.
get stressed.
You do have a downward. Like, I feel a little bit more comfortable in your presence than I do other people. I don't know what kind of compliment that is.
Yeah, I don't know if that's good or bad.
You should have fab shop and meditation studio.
Well, sometimes people are very, they're very good at what they do. They're very direct. They're, kind of authoritarian in their approach to business, and I kind of sense that.
But I let everybody that works at I let everybody do their job.
Oh yeah.
I don't go out and
it's a good
just
thing.
do your job. Do your job, and 3:30 the bell rings. Go home and enjoy your evening, and be back at 7 a.m.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that profile's gonna get a little higher now, so people are gonna be paying attention to you. You might get
hope
more.
So. Give me a call.
More people reaching out. Awesome. Well, thanks so much. Really enjoyed the conversation, Ron.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you
so,
very much.
CenMac Metalworks. Where can they find out more about you?
You can go to CenMacMetalworks.com or Google us and just give me a call. Sometimes I answer the phone, actually.
Awesome.
Believe it or not.
Thanks, Tim.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening. If you have any comments or suggestions, please send it to podcast@fmamfg.org. And I think that's it. So thank you for tuning in, and thanking Mitsubishi because I remembered so. But yeah, thanks to the folks at Mitsubishi MC Machinery for making this possible. See ya.
The Fabricator Podcast is a production of Fabricators and Manufacturers Association, located in Elgin, Illinois. The show is hosted by Dan Davis and the staff of FMA Communications. The podcast is produced by Garrett Slager and recorded and edited by Griffin Hammond and Dana Weicker. Sales support provided by Andy Flando. Additional production support by Elizabeth Gavin, Mike Owens, Billy Culpa, Pat Simon, Brandon Geyer, and me, Sarah Spring. Email us at podcast@fmamfg.org. Thank you for listening.